Good evening. Welcome back to the Gooner Booth. It's been a couple of days and we thought we'd get some therapy in. Before we get into it, please like and subscribe. Ben joins us this evening. Good evening, lads. How are we?
Evening, mate.
Look, there's a lot to talk about. I'm just going to get my thoughts over before I hand over to both of you. Ben was at the Etihad, so I'm pretty sure he's got a completely different insight to what he saw. Look, for me, I've had a chance. The reason why me and Wayne we don't react straight away, because on the day I was really frustrated. I was angry. You know, if you'd have asked me straight after that game, I would have been telling you Arteta should leave and all the stuff that you get when you're in the moment, right? I've actually taken the time to reflect, and look, we played well. I think that I don't think the City game is the problem. I think the games that were the problem were the points dropped at Wolves. You know, the Bournemouth game where we didn't show up. Right, we've sort of done this to ourselves. Now, I'm sitting there thinking of that, but I'm not gonna. I want to judge the team and the manager at the end of the season. Although at the moment everything's doom and gloom, the league's gone. Nothing's to say that City are going to go and win all their games, right? So I've still got a little bit of hope. But listening to other Arsenal supporters, you'd think that we've thrown the league away. Until it's impossible that we don't win this league, then I'll have and then I want questions to be asked. And I'll start evaluating the season, start evaluating this manager and these signings. The one thing that is really frustrating is we've got a squad on paper that you would think that would comfortably walk the title in this situation. You know, we've got 9 points clear. The squad on paper, we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be in this situation. We should have closed it out. That's the frustrating thing for me. So my thoughts on it at the moment is I'm going to go into Saturday's watch along against Newcastle. And the one thing that I want to see from Arteta now is I want to see the handbrake taken off. I don't want none of this. Let's defend first. And I know Newcastle are a good side, by the way. That's not going to be an easy game. But one thing I did see against City was what we've been waiting for all season. Take that bloody handbrake off. Put Odegaard in the 8. Put Eze in a more advanced role. Attack teams. We attacked them. And we almost, like, on another day, Eze's shot goes in off the post. Right? It's all hindsight, I know. But ultimately, we've failed with how we've been setting up in games. But yeah, look, that's my thoughts on it. Look, the way it goes, we've made it a lot harder. Our next 5 games, look, go and win them. Go and win all of them, right? And go on, like Burnley. Man City play Burnley tonight. I'll keep an eye on the score, guys. But Paul Merson, I'll take the words out of his mouth. He said, if Man City don't smash Burnley tonight, Arsenal have still got a shot at the title. But I'm going to counter that. If we go and win our games comfortably and score freely, we win the league. Ben, I'll hand over to you, mate.
I was actually just checking the City score. They're 1-up. Haaland scored. No, Doku scored. No, Haaland scored 5 minutes in.
Yeah, standard, mate. It's going to happen, boys. It's best not to concentrate on it. They're going to win.
But they're going to beat Burnley. Burnley are down and out. They're not going to, you know.
Yeah, that is definitely a banker for them.
It's the goals scored. We don't want them smashing them 5-0. Then that'll put more pressure on us. Because at the moment it's equal on goal difference. And I think we're on 36. They're on 35. Not mistaken.
Now it's equal.
Yeah. Well, I'll let I can explain to the viewers and yourselves, but we'll let Ben have his say time before I waffle on. But yeah, there is a certain thing that's going to play out. But we'll let Ben get his views before.
Go on, Ben, over to you, mate.
Yeah, sure. I get what you're saying, Tony, and I think that. Yeah, I was at the game on Sunday, and I heard someone on the train back say, "This is not Arteta's fault. This game," and I thought about it, and I was like, "But it's his team, and it's his team that has failed to win another big game when it really matters." And I heard a stat the other day that all the times that we've beaten top teams have been at times in the season where it haven't mattered. Like, for example, last season when we beat City 5-1, we weren't really in a title race. They weren't in a title race. So I question the mentality of these players in the crunch times when it matters. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've shown over the seasons that we get to semi-finals, we get to games where we need to win the game, and then we don't go and win it. And I think about your point there, Tony, about like handbrake off. I just think we're so predictable as a team. We're so structured and rigid that it's relatively easy to know what we're going to do from an attacking point of view. And I get your point that like Sunday, I think we did okay. I think we were a lot more open than we have been recently. And maybe that's the trade-off. Maybe if we play with the so-called handbrake off, that we do concede more chances. That there is that. But then I look at some of the players the other day, and these are players that we went and bought in the summer. So look at Madaway. I don't know if he's injured, but let's be honest, guys, he's been a massive disappointment. And the guy that came on for him at half time, Martinelli, has also been a massive disappointment the last couple of years. So we've got to question the players in our squad and why we haven't done better in transfer windows. Like Madueke, for example, Semenyo went for, was it 10 million more in January?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a missed opportunity. And if City go on and win the league, you can make a big case that Semenyo has been a massive part of that. I think he's come in and scored 8-9 goals and crucial goals, right? And I think it's these little things that we've missed that are going to potentially cost us. Look, who knows what's going to happen from here? I can't help to think that we'll make a mistake somewhere. We'll drop points at Fulham, Newcastle, Palace away. Like, what happens if we go into the final day of the season and, I don't know, it's level on points? Would you back us to go to Palace, like with the mentality of this group? I would love to be proved wrong, but I just have a massive doubt.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point there, mate. Listen, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with any points, to be fair. I mean, it's tough. It's tough when this time of year we've never been in this situation. But as Arsenal fans, I'm pretty sure you kind of. I'm going to use an analogy, guys, for those that if you've played video games, for argument's sake, we wanted it on easy mode. We wanted it where we'd go into that Etihad, potentially what I think would be like 9 points clear or something, guys. Was it, or 12? At a Bournemouth game, wasn't it? Was it 12 points? And they'd pull it back to 9 points. We wanted it on easy mode as Arsenal fans because we've got PTSD. Yeah, we've, like Ben said, Tone, and this is where the argument comes from. I'm getting a lot of stuff at work for bottlers, Arsenal Bottlers FC, and what is this, and Crumble and whatever. Yeah. In my opinion, we weren't in a title race last year. We really wasn't, because you can't call a title race something where we've lost all our players and we just dropped out of like February. We've done, Liverpool just won it at a canter. There was no challenge. Yeah, we've got however they got there. We've got a team that's led by Pep Guardiola chasing us down right now, and he's got the players, he's got the know-how, and like Ben said, and it is a worry, Ben. I'm an Arteta. I want Arteta in. I want him to win something. I want him to prove that he can do it. It's this crunch time. It's games like Tony said, against Bournemouth, against Wolves time. We done watch-alongs. We were visibly disappointed. And Ben's alluded to it as well. The players as well. You can add Trossard on there as well, Ben. But we can name drop every player that's been disappointing. But the tactics are on the manager. Yeah, this is his team. So as fans, we have to go, look, Tony's asking for him to let the handbrake off. And like you said as well, Ben, which is 100% right, we were a bit more open against City. So he's tried to go for it, Tone, but he's opened up, and it's ended 2-1. It's a tough one, lads. It's a tough one to take when you see the players like Tony said, and you think, is it on the manager's tactics? Is it individuals? I mean, let's be honest. Madueke had on the form of a fully fit, fully on form Saka is not fit to lace his boots. He's not. He's not. His form has been poor. But like you've said, Ben, it's also Trossard, Martinelli, Madueke who've had nothing from the wings, boys. All right. You've got Havertz, who is your hold-up striker, apparently, you know, you go to links everything, and he's barely been fit this season. We've lost Moreno, who I've said in previous streams is quite the way Arteta plays is quite integral to that. He's been out since January. There's been no great football play, boys, and this is where.
Can I just say on that, Wayne? I was going to say,
yeah.
I think what you're saying here tells me that he's too reliant on certain things. Like you mentioned Marino there, and I get it, right? Marino is a really effective player. He's intelligent. He's really good at finishing. He's good in the air, and he's one of those players that, like, you can pump it long to him. He'll hold it up, pass it. You know, that he's an important player. But are we too reliant on that sort of player? Like this season, I've said this to you, Tony, he's relied so much on that midfield two of Rice and Zubmendi, and it's now come back to bite him. And I get that Marino's been injured, so he's not been able to play him. But your job as a manager is to find solutions within the team, which is, well, why don't you play Miles? Why don't you play Miles there in a game like Wolves away this season? Bottom of the league, 7 points. Just say, right, look, Miles, go and play. You're a good footballer. Do you know what I mean? Why play Rice and Zubmendi in every single match?
Single game.
To the point where they are knackered. They're both knackered.
They're out on their feet. They're out on their feet, mate. This is the problem.
But that's
They're
on
out on their feet.
That is on Arteta.
Yeah, of course it is.
Poorly managing.
Why sign Norgard? Why sign Norgard as well? I mean, listen, Ben. You know my thoughts on Miles. We've had this discussion when you've previously joined me and Tony will tell you, and regular viewers will tell you. Miles, in my opinion, should be playing in the midfield. He should have started a game like Wolves, mate. He should be starting more games because he's the only guy that can progress that ball forward. 100%. Supermendi since January, February has regressed. Yeah, because he's overplayed. He's his first time in the season, and that is on the manager. You know, Saka has been overplayed in the past, and now let's be real. We have to be real with Saka. His hammy left his leg. It ripped off his bone. You know, so this guy is struggling. We say he should be better.
3 days. He was playing cup games.
He was playing silly cup games. He was playing silly cup games he shouldn't have done. He should not have been there, Ben. Shouldn't even come off the bench. That's on the manager. And I have to have that. I have to hold that criticism, mate. I have to. I want him. I want this manager because I've seen certain things, and we are competing at the top. But he's man management. And it's still it's struggled, and that's why Saka's struggling this year. It's just not working for him on a form side. And then you got Madueke coming in, who's not good enough. And let's also be real as well, Ben. Like you said, me and Tony saw it. I don't know if you saw it in the away end that Martinelli lost his man for that second goal in terms of the breakaway. Yeah, and he got yelled at. I think it was Havertz. I can't remember, mate. Ødegaard, whoever. He missed it, didn't track his man, and then he was flagging all the way back. I'm not saying Madueke wouldn't have done that. I'm just saying this is a guy that Arteta has trusted for years.
Wayne, to counter that argument, right? And I've been thinking about it, and I watched the highlights as well. Isn't that
you're a brave man, son?
Isn't that Zubamendi's job as a 6 to come across and cut that out?
It could be a number of things, Tone. I think how he sets up, how rigid he is. Like again, Ben alluded to his system. This is the players can also let that system down. One thing as well, Ben, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because again, watching it live can be a totally different interpretation than watching it on the TV. At the stadium. Sorry. But what did if you can correct me? What did Trossard do better than what Eza done? Why did he made that substitution? Why?
The guy next to me was getting very frustrated with Eza. I think he was holding onto the ball like almost to the point where he was about to lose it, Eza.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a hard one, isn't it? Because Eza's kind of just coming back from injury 2-3 weeks ago. But then he plays.
You're asking him to be your saviour, aren't you, dude? And
then he plays Ødegaard for 90
injury.
minutes.
Yeah.
But then you could argue that Trossard plays that incredible cross for Havertz. And I don't have an issue with Trossard. I think Trossard is a perfectly fine squad player. And someone that you can utilise in different positions. You want him to play 10, false 9, left wing, maybe even on the right side. He's he's for me a perfect squad player. And let's not forget, first half of the season he was fantastic as well.
He was. I don't know if he's kind of blown out of steam, mate. But you're right. I mean, me and
but
Tony,
he's done a job for us. He's probably done
he was
enough
fantastic.
to justify his place in the squad, right?
Yeah, he was fantastic for that, matey. And I think the start of the year, I don't mean to cut you off, just saying I have to agree with you there. Yeah, I mean, because we did say on this channel as well, as I saw you, we joined. I just whether it's been overly harsh. It's just that, if you haven't got a Martinelli coming on, because Madueke has been poor, right? You haven't got Saka, a fully fit, fully firing Saka to rely on. You bring Martinelli on, who struggled. Trossard can do moments. What it is if we could have a clutch moment from Trossard, we needed it. We've needed it the last couple of months. We've needed a clutch moment where we struggled, like Tony said, Wolves, Bournemouth. I think obviously Forest as well, guys, wasn't it? This year we drew it away to Forest. We struggled. I've likened it, and Tony will back me up, and maybe I was silly, maybe I'm not, but he reminded me of Ljungberg in the fact that he could just pop up Trossard and score that clutch goal. And I think it's been a bit disappointment, but you're right, Ben. He pulled us through. He was phenomenal in the first half of the season. It's just now in Arsenal, in previous years, I'm going back years and years when you guys are quite younger than me, but when we were young kids, teenagers, and you're watching the Arsenals, and I've said it before, I'll repeat myself, but if Pires weren't playing well, you'd have Ljungberg. If Henry wasn't playing well, you had a Bergkamp. If you had Henry and Bergkamp gone, you'd have a great squad player in Wiltord who'll come up with some goals. Kanu, do you know what I mean, mate? And matey, sorry, there's two of you, but we haven't had, and correct me if I'm wrong, what player on that team has hit form? I mean, look, Gyökeres's goals, he divides opinions, but he scored goals in this year. But you can't rely on a guy who's struggled in this team to be your main guy to go to. Where is your Pires hitting form? Where is your Ljungberg hitting form? Where is your Bergkamp hitting form? Your Henry? We had players back in the past that hit form. I've not seen a player in this team since the turn of the year really hit a purple patch of form, and we're going places here. Not one player on that team. If I'm wrong, guys, feel free to tell me.
I agree with you, Wayne. But then whose fault is that? Because
you have to look at who's. This is Arteta's
team. This is the team that he's assembled over. I think he's nearly been at Arsenal 7 years, like over a 7-year period. Like we've regressed from Aubameyang. He inherited Aubameyang and Lacazette. And our forward line is now worse than when we had those two players.
Yeah.
Is it just that he can't pick attacking players? Is it he can't develop attacking players?
Yeah, I mean,
give me one attacking player that he's bought that's got better. You can even argue that Saka's regressed in his time. So going back to the whole, I know Tony, you want to reserve judgment on him until what happens to the end of the season. My concern is, do you trust him to go again this summer and either be given players, because it might be a Berta situation where he goes, right, this is your guy, or do you trust him to choose the players? Because I like Havertz. He spent 70 million on him.
Yeah, before I answer that, let me just read out some of these comments because they're piling up a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, go on, mate. Read them out. Go for it, go on.
GK, good evening, mate. He's put, I believe Trossard is one of our better technical players. I don't
technical. There's no argument. There's no argument there, mate. Yeah.
GK put, just his legs are gone. He can no longer play wide. Feel he better central, being a secondary striker. He has a better chance of being a central defender than he does in the fullback. So I can agree with
that. Another argument. Sorry, Tony. Before you say that as well, with that GK, is Martinelli as well. Me and Tony would tell you he can't beat a man, but he's more of a central look. He's pace through the middle. He's
one of our few players I've seen taking on beating them, man. Yeah, one of the few players I said. Yeah, true. Sorry, Ben, what was the question, mate? Sorry, buddy.
No, I think just to very quickly summarize what I was saying, it's like, do you trust Arteta to develop or identify attacking players?
So the question I'll throw back another question. I'll answer and I'll question another question back to you, right? Do we put the whole blame on Arteta here? Do we all get excited in this transfer window, right? If you look at the signings that have come in, was it a good window in the end? when you're looking at the season now? Did Berta do a good job? Does Berta have to take some of the blame as well as Arteta? Was our recruitment on point? You know,
I think I looked at it as they bolstered the squad, but how much quality did they add? Like they brought in Madueke and they said, right, this guy is going to be the backup to Saka, and you know he's a similar profile of player.
The thing is,
but he's been awful. He's been awful.
Ben, I'll tell you
something.
I'd
rather have had Waneri play on that side.
Yeah, I'll tell you something to make you feel sick, Ben. Right, we've signed Madueke for 55 million. Man City signed Cherky for 29 million.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
I just think there's some financial doping going on there, Tony.
30 million. 2 seasons before, they bought him for 30 million. And you could argue that he wasn't very good at Chelsea. And we went and spent 55 million on him. Like,
yeah. You telling me there wasn't a better winger out there we could get? Like Semenyo. Why didn't we buy Semenyo?
We have been linked, guys, with
That's
Semenyo.
such a good point. And I think that needs to be answered. Why did we not buy Semenyo?
If he goes
on to win the league with Man City and the League Cup and the FA Cup.
I get why we didn't buy Gay, but why didn't we buy Semenyo?
Both players, boys, as well, by the way, just to add insult to injury. Sorry, Tone. Mate. I just want to add to you and carry on. Gay and Semenyo were more than willing to come to Arsenal. They're more than willing. That's constantly for a year or two now. We have been sniffing around Gay for maybe 3 years. Semenyo last couple of summer transfer windows, and we let him develop at Bournemouth. Listen, January you're not going to do it. Man City can just get away with whatever, as we all know, boys. We'll leave that on the back burner. But that just shows you that. I mean, listen, we had a Semenyo. Semenyo was there. No one can convince me with numbers and whatever. Me and Tony said, Ben, start of the year, and I think you'll agree. Any other Gooner will agree. Hello, evening, Charles, my friend. Thank you very much. Yep, Rosinia's been sacked. Another expensive waste of time for him. But you can't tell me that Madueke's come in, guys, and done anything better than Semenyo would have done. And you should have we obviously haven't got the money then, lads. We didn't have the money in January to get Semenyo, because by hook or by crook we should have got him. We should have stopped City getting him.
We don't have the money because we're spending
silly amounts on players that are
on Jesus.
Oh, me and Ben
on Martinelli.
Havertz wages, mate. Martinelli's wages. Yep, you're right.
Well, me and Ben was discussing this off air, Wayne. A couple of days ago. What's cost us is our selling. We cannot sell a player. They go for peanuts. We make no money back on our sales. So every player we buy is purely on revenue made by the business. It's
basically that amount of money. We're not in any trouble with PSR, guys, in terms of that. But it's revenue. It's not based on player sales. And the worst thing, that just keep an eye out on the summer, because there could be a need for one of our, I don't know if it's like a Miles or Ethan Wanyeri or whatever. It could be used as pure profit. If someone comes in with a bid, it will just be a pure profit kind of sell, like what Chelsea been doing and selling players and doing what else. I don't want it, by the way. I'm just saying.
But it will happen under Arteta, guys. Like he will sell one or both of those players, and I look at it as, hold on, you might not be here in 2-3 years. I'm still going to be watching this club, and you're selling like future players that I think are the future of this club.
Yeah.
Like that's what annoys me more than anything. Like you're backing Havertz and Madueke and you're not selling. You're not backing Waneri, Miles. Look, I got it with Smith Rowe. He wasn't good enough and he had too many injury problems. But these two, for me, they're the future.
Ben, these two currently, my friend, should be in and around the first team squad. They should be in and out, playing, competing. Now, I understand he has a signing in terms of the left-hand side, right? But we kept Trossard, we kept Martinelli. He shouldn't have been a replacement for Wanyeri or turfing Wanyeri out, because in terms of his ability, he's got a higher ceiling, and so has Miles. All right, and I've been arguing it. He's as you said. I was just about to say consistently. Sorry, guys. I'll get some more water in me gob. He's consistently shunned not even trying MLS at midfield, mate. You've got Calafiori, injury problems, so he's bought in Capier, right? You had Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back. Okay, go and play Miles at midfield. Has he done that? No, because he's insisting on running Subamendi and Rice into the ground. He can't swap him with Moreno come January because he's injured. We haven't got the money to bloody buy another midfielder, which we clearly needed. MLS was right there, and he has been there, and he's not done it. And there's no excuse for that, in my opinion.
He makes mistakes because he's a young player, and Arteta,
he's gonna make, isn't he? He's gonna make it exactly.
He makes a mistake in a game. He made a mistake, didn't he, in the Bournemouth game, Miles, didn't he? Back post, I think.
Yeah.
And I just know that Arteta will kill him for that and just won't play him, rather than say, listen, you need to be right side of your man, and then play him again next game.
Ben, listen, mate, if he can do that, I mean, it's worse to do it to an 18-year-old, but look what he did to Eze, mate, against Aston Villa. He was out of the team, wasn't he? You got a £60 million signing, and because he doesn't track his man, he kicks back. That's, in my opinion.
He did the same thing at City, though, to be fair. Yeah. Like, he just lost his man, and then Sharky went for on goal.
Yeah. Which is,
but then again,
you know,
we place so
Ben,
much importance on the defensive aspects of our attacking players. Yeah. Like, you guys were talking earlier about that. Was it Martinelli? Was it Zubimendi? Be honest, back in the day when we used to watch the Arsenal teams and we conceded a goal, did we scrutinise the defending as much? Or did we just go, you know what, we conceded, let's try and score? Because we've got players that can score goals. But we're so, like, focused on margins and, like, we need to cover this player here.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, teams will score goals against us. We need to go and score goals against them, right? Is that
Ben,
not how
you know what,
works?
mate? If you concede 2, score 3. You know, just mate. Listen, you know what? And I'm sorry, I want to add to your point because you're 100% right, and I want to just make a point and pass it back over to you. He coaches these attacking players, Martinelli included, to the inch of their life, where it's a case of they're more concerned about backwards as opposed to going forward. I think that's affected Martinelli. 22, 23 Martinelli was on fire. He just overcoaches. I get it. Listen, guys, we want to be rigid, right? But you're overcoaching the defensive side. And then we're asking now, and everyone's going, right, well, we're competing against the City now, a Man City, sorry. If they go perfect, it's on goals, yeah? I don't think they will. But, you know, tonight excluded, but look, but if a miracle happens, but I'm not going to watch it. But he has now got to go toe-to-toe with a free-scoring City team. Pep's figured it out, but why hasn't he? We were 33 games in there, guys. We've had moments. We've won. You know, when we won against Newcastle, we beat Brighton. You think, right, we've added points on from last year. There's a number of things early in the season, and you're ticking it off the list. You're going, oh, Jesus Christ, we're up on that result, and then you get silly draws. You know, we've lost 5 games now. You know, and the football has just dropped down. You know, it's like, I know we're going for our first title here, but now if City go perfect, we have to match them and outscore them. You know, and that's a situation that the manager's allowed us to get into. And that is the big question, which I know fans are asking at the moment. You're going to have PTSD because you just don't know, you know, 23-24 Arsenal, we were battering teams. We still lost the title. Now, we are at a point now where it could effectively be a race against getting goals. And can you see this team scoring 3 or 4 goals in a Premier League game? I can't at the moment. That is the worry, and every fan has. That's what I'm saying. That's why fans are kicking off, Tone and Ben.
Very good.
It's struggle, you know.
So very good. Onto the point of the question Charles put in. It's very good.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, mate. It's been up on the screen. Read it out, Bones.
It's got my question. Our fan base talks a lot about mentality. Do they have the mentality to face a title run-in where it's win or lose basis goal difference? The Emirates crowd is a big no for me. Online, maybe.
You know, it's a tough one. I think the away, Ben will tell us, because I think the away fans are always phenomenal. You know, the fact is you're going up and down the country, every week, and there's quite a lot of regulars that do it. And they are their voices are phenomenal, right? You're at the home and you're like Bournemouth, yeah, and the crowd are on edge. It's not always about the crowd, by the way, boys, because someone said online as well, which I have to agree with as well. As much as atmosphere does help, players have to lift you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember? You remember if, like, Theo Walcott time, right? And Theo would make a run, and even though it might not have gone anywhere, the crowd were on their feet, and it's Theo. We knew that Theo was a limited footballer, but he had this. His speed, he was phenomenal. But it lifted the football that Wenger played, lifted you up. Yeah, we cannot. This bollocks was my friend. Sorry, that Arteta come up with. Bring your dinner, and I said to Tony, I said, if he says it again or anyone says bring whatever, just shut up. The club keeps sending stuff as well. Oh, stop it. It's not solely on the fans, as much as we can criticise. It's not solely on the fans in that stadium that pay some of the highest prices in the Premier League, by the way. It's not up to them solely to raise the level. You are professionally paid footballers. You got players like Gabby Jesus on the bench at almost 300k. That geezer doesn't have to play a game of football again, Ben and Tony. He's set, isn't he? While regulars that go to that football, they want to see entertainment as well as wanting their team to win the title. Raise the level, raise your football. Don't solely rely on the match-going fan,
Yeah, I'll go back to Ben's point in our last pod that he joined. I remember him saying, "Look, our football's boring. It's boring to watch." I actually turned and said, "Well, if we win the title, we'll take it." But now we need that type of football. That's the only way you're going to score goals is free-flowing football. Mate. But I think, I'll take back to Ben's point, Wayne. I don't know if Arteta's got it in him to allow this team that freedom.
Listen, the closest thing was the Etihad to terms of playing much better football. It's now that clinical finishing, and as we'll all attest to, we can say we didn't have. Because one of the natural finishes in the team is Gyökeres. Getting him in that team, getting him playing to his strengths is not what Arteta does, right? And what someone said, which I have to agree with, which we both, I think we can all three of us can agree, that if you had Havertz's abilities with his hold-up play, his link play, and you had Gyökeres' finishing abilities, that would be the ultimate striker. But in typical Arsenal fashion, we've got two strikers that don't always play to the strength that we need. You can't. I know it's a type of striker. You're asking for a Thierry Henry type player, if you like, guys, aren't you? But that doesn't always exist in the modern game. But it's a struggle in this team to watch as well. I love my football club. We all do, right? You want to see great football, but if you see effective football, that he is constantly on control, guys. It's stay rigid, control the game, control the outcome of the game. Mikel, stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Yeah, you can't control a match for 90 minutes because the players are fucking out of their nut. They're tired. They're knackered. You've got to try different things. And that's the worry. It's always going to be the worry because he's so rigid in that system that he's not allowing the handbrake to come off. And 33 games in, guys. 5 games now. We had multiple chances to put this title out of Man City's reach.
Yeah, well, I think this is where Arteta's going to fall on his sword. I think the club won't get rid of him in the summer. If we go trophy,
I think the talk of it they won't, unless you get Luis Enrique knocking on the door, boys. I don't think they love Arteta
as well. Wayne is because of the World Cup as well. I was thinking about it the other day. It's not feasible to change a manager in the World Cup because you don't get a pre-season. Most of your players do not get a pre-season. But obviously, challenge me if you think I'm wrong there. But I don't think for that reason. I think that'd be the excuse not to change the manager. I think they'll go into another season with Arteta. And I do back Ben's point. I find it really worrying that he spent over £1 billion already, right? And that's his squad. He's got nowhere to hide. That's his squad. Those are his players, except for Martinelli. How much more money is he going to get to win it? And do we go down the? I'm not going to say this. I'm actually listening to a few podcasts, and someone said something, and I'm not going to take credit for it. It's a very, very good analogy. And I said this to Ben the other day. Smith Rowe, right, was a good player, a really good player. But was he a player that could take us to the title? No, right? That's your answer. Reece Nelson, very good player, quick, powerful winger, right? Suffered with a lot of injuries. Was he good enough to take us to the title? No, he wasn't. Right? Maybe we've got to start looking at Arteta, that maybe he's a good manager, but is he an elite manager? Is he a manager that's going to take us?
I knew you were going to say that, because that was again on. I knew that, and I give Ben a point to get across. But that is it, isn't it? That's the ultimate thing, guys. And the question, the thing as well, which it does rely on boys and ladies and anyone watching, that who we sell in the summer and how much money we get is going to be fundamental to getting the players that will elevate this team. I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. As I say, you know Ben and Tony. You know, maybe it's a sentimental thing or whatever. I would love Gyökeres to explode and do whatever. Right? If it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. But if you're looking at a front three of Gyökeres, Trossard, and Madueke, that's not going to fear people. That's not going to strike fear in anybody. So what needs to happen is you need to look. What would you call elite now, guys? What would you call elite in the left wing? You know, we thought Saka was elite. I think his body's keeping up with him. So that is in the summer fundamental for us to clear the wage bill of those players that are not playing regularly. You know, but we've already spoke about that. It's up to Bert to sell well first, boys, and get them players in.
Wayne, this is something I was just thinking about here, right? When you're kind of at this level where you're going for titles, you become like a final destination club, or maybe there is like one more in Real Madrid. But then you got to question, like, what clubs around the world have the money to buy the players that we've got, right? Like we spent 70 million on Havertz. How much are we getting for Havertz? Where's he going? Like,
exactly, mate.
Like, okay, maybe Bayern Munich come in and buy him, and
there's a shout for that in there, mate.
50 million. Maybe that's a viable option. Gyökeres, I know you're a fan, Wayne. I watched him on the weekend. He didn't have a touch, by the way, when he came on.
I know,
and he just looks unfit. I watched him and he looked like he was running in quicksand. Anyway, story for another day. But who's buying Gyökeres in the summer? We spent 60 million on him. I think he's on 200 grand a week. He's got a 5-year contract. If I'm Gyökeres, I'm saying I ain't going nowhere unless you're paying me the same money or more. Otherwise, I'll just sit here and I'll come off the bench or play league games, whatever, or League Cup games, whatever. So I think we're in that situation now where we need to capitalize on who we can actually sell. But I don't know who we can sell. Maybe there's a market for Martinelli. There's no market for Trossard.
No.
Is there a market?
I've heard slight rumours, Ben, about Napoli, but again, mate, you say you're kind of stretching it.
Italian clubs have no money. No money.
Exactly.
I know someone that
they'll try to lowball us, mate. I know they will. 5 million.
He said to me that the Milan team is literally like full of like 5-10 million pound players.
They have dropped. Mate, do you remember? And listen, I don't want to go on too off on a tangent, but you're right to bring up.
Before you do, Wayne, let me read out this question.
Because I can't see Ben. I'm just talking to Napshot at the moment. So
Snapshot, good evening.
His face is totally covered. Go on, get this out there, mate. Sorry. No, don't worry, Ben. Honestly, son. It's because when I like to talk to people when I'm there, but just don't worry, mate. Go on. You don't have to
adjust get this. It's my fault. I put the chat. Let me get this question out of the way, guys, and I'll actually there's a few in there. Let me get these out of the way, and we can crack on with what he's going to say. Wayne, this might be a weak shout, but I'll consider Patrick Vieira seriously as the next manager. We need a manager which commands respect, and sometimes you need that over a tactical freak like Arteta. Do you know what? I think Vieira isn't the right man for us. Neither is Thierry, by the way. And also, I wouldn't want them sort of players managing our club because it can tarnish their legendary status at the club. I wouldn't know when, at this moment in time, you wouldn't anyone like that near the club. Even like Fabregas, for me, again, he's another Arteta. He's another project-based manager. If you're going to go on,
you say that, Tony, but his team is playing very good football in Italy, like free flowing. I
think that's where people are going, aren't they, mate? That's the thing. People are looking at the football, Ben, and I think that's where it comes from. I get the comparison. It's such a catch-22.
I think Ben, if he wins a couple of titles or cups, then you consider it because he's got the mentality to win stuff, right? And that's the argument. But at the moment, it's very light for light because Arteta does come in with a pedigree of playing football and defending. Well, he comes in with a pedigree and a plan, just like Fabregas. Although they're completely different plans, it's still the same project in my eyes. We're still going to have to wait for Fabregas.
But then you either go down like an old hat manager that's been around the
Yeah.
block and done it, and how many
Yeah.
managers are there? Or you
Exactly.
look at
Luis
Pep Guardiola,
Enrique's the only
right?
one that stands out, mate.
He was
That's what I said. That's what I said, guys. Luis Enrique is the only one you'd
He's
have
the
to
only one that
immediately
stands out
say.
for me. But
Yeah,
You know,
I get your
exactly.
point.
That's the only one. You wouldn't want anyone else, really, would you guys? So
Well,
he's the
Klopp.
only one. You know, you'd go,
Tuchel.
yeah.
I don't think Klopp would come, but Klopp or
Mm.
Enrique would be the two that comes out, shouts out to me, that would come in and do a job.
What about Thomas Tuchel?
Oh no, Joe, I don't think he's done that great in the Premier League as a manager. And
won the Champions League for Chelsea.
Mm.
Yeah, he did, but so did what do you call it?
Di Matteo.
Di Matteo. Do you know what I mean? So he had a really good Chelsea squad. Would he come in and do a good job with him now? There you go. That's a question for you. Probably not. You know.
Here, Tony, this is a decent one. A decent question. Sorry, from GK. For you and Ben to consider as well. All of us, but have a look.
Yeah. Would you take the risk of playing 3 at the back these last games to have extra attacker or midfielder to compete with City's goal differential? Was thinking 3-1-4-2. So look, it's a good point, and I see where he's going with this. I don't see Arteta doing it. I don't see Arteta having that. The problem is with Arteta.
Who are you going to get playing as wing back, if you like, boys? You know what I mean? We haven't really got that kind of player, have we?
This guy was probably an accountant in another life, because his attention to detail is nuts, right? To the point where he went to a press conference the other day. Let me know if you guys have seen this. He noticed a reporter sitting in a different seat.
Yeah, Kainak or something. Yeah, I think
he literally said to her, "You normally sitting over there." So that's someone that's mapped out stuff to every detail. Now, if someone's got that, they've already got a detail in their head, and they're probably going to stick to that. And that's when the stubbornness comes in, right? But then I've not met many managers, or I don't know of many managers that I've seen in the Premier League that are winning trophies that will change their philosophy. The only one I've seen do it is Pep. Pep will adapt to situations, and that's why I hate to say it, that's why he's a good manager. He's a dick. Yeah. That's why he's a good manager.
So, I mean, on that point, and carry on your point. I mean, listen. I mean, in my opinion, I think obviously Haaland he's phenomenal, but Haaland isn't. You look at Haaland. I say Haaland. He is not. He's not your link striker. He can get flick-ons, but he's just a force of nature. And Pep adjusted his system for that kind of striker, because Haaland weren't, Aguero was a different kind of striker. He adapts to the players he's got. And listen, that's why they've won. Regardless of the background story, he's adapted. Yeah, you're right. He adapts his system to certain players and certain ways of playing. But yeah, it's a weird one, but a quick one before you get to your point. This is like Italian football is just a random one, but you remember when they had like Kaká, Ronaldinho, Inzaghi. Italian football has dropped a bit off a cliff, really, guys. Isn't it, at the moment? It's a random one, but a random thought that I had before the comments. But yeah, they had a great team, Milan, and now they're struggling. So they're the type of things where if you're looking for like a Trossard, they're not going to put the money up. But they once had a great team at Milan, but they are massively struggling now. Really, really big, massive.
Well, I think if I'm being completely honest, I think the Middle East have ruined football in a sense that they've gone into certain clubs.
It's ridiculous, mate.
No one can keep up with it. I think that's half.
Boys, can I say one thing as well? Agree with me or not agree with me? Ruben Neves, who played for Wolves and went to Saudi Arabia, would you have taken him in the team?
Yeah.
A year or so ago.
Definitely.
In the midfield.
We'd have him. I'd have him now as a backup.
He's gone for money. Like, what are you doing? You're good enough for the Premier League, isn't he, Tony?
We was talking about it. I think in January. I think he was up for.
Yes, we did, dude. Yeah,
loan deal, and I was like, I'll take him for backup.
They've ruined this. Money ruins football. Look at as I say, Chelsea started it. City have carried it on. And football in like Premier League as well. I mean, look, Man United had a force of nature manager in Sir Alex Ferguson. You have to ask yourself this: he still won titles up until 2013, playing against a moneybags Chelsea. And he also won it where City was starting to get their financial stuff, and obviously their financial charges go back from 2009, boys. So they've been doing dodgy stuff since then, and Alex Ferguson still managed to compete in that, and that's why Wenger struggled, wasn't it? He didn't have the financial backing.
Yeah,
you're competing with money. you haven't got it, or you haven't got as much as anybody else. You've got to innovate in other ways, haven't you?
Yeah, good evening, Sheree. Yeah,
hello, evening, mate. Thanks for joining the channel again, Sheree. Nice to see you, my friend.
He's put, let's back the boys until the end of the season. When it reaches May, tough conversation need to be had. Yeah, as I said at the beginning.
Tony said it. We have come to it rather reluctantly,
for now.
But we hold judgment. But I think criticism, like Ben has said, and like we've all said, criticism needs to be had in certain situations, because I think players have been overplayed, and you've had players that could step in. But thanks, Sheree. It's a good point. But yeah, he's the manager. We can't not criticise the manager in certain situations, because he's had opportunities to change it up a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, Napster's put, at this current moment, are we better off with Martinelli as the right wing or Noni? I would like to see Eza secure the left wing spot with Martin back, but until Saka is back, I'll offer that slot to Martinelli. Yeah, I don't know what
you can't. Boy, what does he offer? We've even said Dalman, haven't we, lads?
Yeah, Alpi, Burnley 0, City 1. Well, it was fun while it lost. Good evening, mate.
But I think just going back to that point before about the right wing options, it's like they're both not good.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
100. Like, even who are you going to pick, Ben?
Is there someone else? Ben White play there.
We need Timber back, mate. Get Benny White there. Get Timber back at right back. Maybe Benny White would do a job.
I heard
shocking, isn't it, mate? It's shocking.
I heard someone say this yesterday, and I don't know how possible this is, but they said if you brought Luis Enrique into this team, he would change that front three completely. Like, look what he's done at PSG, where he's got
100%.
Doué one side. I'm not going to pronounce the other guy.
Cavari or just KK. Do him KK, mate. Call him KK from Georgia.
and then he plays Dembele in like a kind of false nine.
He's a false nine. Yeah.
And this person was saying, like, well, with this team, Enrique might go, you know what, Martinelli, you're up top. Saka, you're one side. Waneri, you're the other side. You boys just go play. Go express yourself. And you know what? Saka, you maybe might go in the middle. Martinelli, you might go out wide. Mix it up. Go and express yourself. And like I watched, we all watched the Barcelona teams under Pep, funny enough. They would all interchange. But for us,
there's no set positions in that front three. No.
Trossard, Madueke, it's so structured.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, go and do something different. It's not working.
I can't argue there, 100%.
I keep saying to a lot of our streams, like, why do wingers not swap wings anymore during a game?
Yeah,
I know, boys. You know one thing. Listen, well, I know we were. If you remember, we was linked with Rafinha, right? And I'm just going on to your point, Tone. That's why I'm waffling, right? But people were saying, if you got a Saka on the right, why don't they try to convert like a Rafinha type role for like a Madueke? He's not even good enough on the fucking right. Sorry. I don't need to say it when I'm swearing. It's annoying me, guys, because as Ben's
just
alluded
gone past 9, Wayne. You're okay.
Thank you, mate. But it's so annoying because you spend this much money on a player that you want to give rest to Saka, and he won't try him at left wing because he's more likely not good enough, and because he's not good enough at right wing. You know what I mean? And as Ben said, who are you going to play in it? Listen, Dalman is 16, got the world at his feet. Let's not try to rush him too much, but you'd want to give him a go, wouldn't you? Because other than the only reason he's not going to play him, guys, and I'll tell you why he doesn't start Dalman, is because Dalman is a 16-year-old kid who will express himself, and he won't necessarily get back into position to defend like Mikel wants him to. So Mikel won't necessarily start him against the City. Look at Everton. They didn't have nothing to fight for, I know, but Wayne Rooney came into that thing, world at his feet, was banging goals in, weren't he? He done it against us. It's a different thing, I know, but he's too rigid is what I'm trying to get at. He's just not willing to sacrifice certain aspects of the team. Yeah. When, look at it, Martinelli weren't good enough and Madueke weren't good enough in a title-defining game. Listen, it's not over. Of course it's not over because we're still top of the league. We might not be right now, but on goal difference. But we were top of that league going into that game at the Etihad, and there were certain aspects you could have done, but not one of those right wingers were good enough with Saka out. Not one of them. Trossard, as you say, sorry, Tone, Trossard.
Player, Wayne, 50 million on Madueke.
That's his player
that he bought.
Trossard had to go over to the right wing, Ben, and crossed the ball to Havertz near
And
the
what
death.
a ball that was.
It was a great ball, by the way. Like, thank you for reminding me. But it's just my thought process is coming to the head. It was so bad on the right side that even Trossard had to go over there and whip a decent ball in.
Yeah.
There's
Comments
your
coming in,
art,
guys. I was put overplayed and rushed back when injured. Player welfare is clearly a joke to him. I think he's run our players into the ground. Cherise put, I will play devil's advocate with City. They have the money, but look at the structure behind the scouting, and City generate mad profits. Look at their academy sales like Lavia, Rodgers, and Sancho. Can't argue with that. Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean the Chargers don't sit. They've done much better to cover themselves in the last few years, without a doubt. There, matey, definitely, yeah. Charles.
GK's put, Jesus was interchangeable with Martinelli that 2022-23 season. Once Havertz, Mourinho started as the 9 wingers, goal output dropped. Yeah, I remember that season. I remember that Jesus and Martinelli, that little Brazilian link where they were.
You were talking about it, wasn't you, dude? You were talking about it a bit earlier in the season.
Bring it back. Yeah. If our wingers aren't performing, then start Jesus on the wing. I do think Martinelli needs to play through the middle. I think give it a go. I know he's not going to take them risks against Newcastle, but
he just doesn't seem to rate him there, Tone. But I just think the boy. I think the boy is, like Ben said, in the PSG setup.
Right, yeah,
that boy is a false 9, not a false 9, but he's not an out-and-out striker. But he can't take men on. So what he can do is when he gets into positions, if he's confident enough, he'll put the ball in the back of the net.
Martinelli is good at running behind. He's very good at it, and he's done it a few times. Look at the City goal at the end.
He's got a phenomenal engine. His engine is up and down. He's got a great engine.
He's also a good finisher when he doesn't have time to think.
When he doesn't have time to think, he's an instinctive
finisher.
He's an instinctive finisher. Yeah.
I would play him there, Ben. I think because we've alluded to that. Look, you don't take on a man. His wing play isn't as good as it used to be. Try something different. Put him through the middle. Put Jesus out on the left. Maybe give that a go. Because then they can interchange. What we want to do is, like, players like Boatman and Dan Burn are going to be training this week in knowing that they're going to have York to defend against, right, or Havertz to defend against. Turn up and put Martinelli up top. Literally, you're going to any opposition that see that are going to crap. That's a completely different striker. That's someone with just bags of pace that ain't going to stop running. But Arteta won't do it. This is what Ben said earlier in our pod. He's too predictable. Every team now, like Newcastle are training now, knowing exactly what we're going to do. Whether Havertz back from, it'll be the same system.
It is the same system, regardless of the striker time. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Shreves put, look at Arteta and how Pep utilised O'Reilly and how Arteta has treated Lewis Skelly. We have an issue in progressing the ball, and you just have Lewis Skelly right on the bench. Yeah. He's one of the best.
It is, mate. He could be a Wilshere regen in the way he pulls away from players, and he's just not using him there, sure.
Then bursting runs. We needed that this season, Shreves also put Arteta is flawed as a floor coach. He prioritises defensive ability, and yet defensively on any counter attack, we look suspect. So it's better you attack and risk it all. We're gonna have to risk it.
100%. A quick question. 10 games ago, guys. He should have been doing it 10 games ago.
Go on, Ben.
Sorry, Ben. Sorry, mate.
Sorry. I cut you guys there. I was going to ask you guys a quick question. You probably won't like the start of it. If City go on to win the league,
I don't like it.
Yeah, stop it.
And I was thinking about, I was thinking about this earlier. Who do you think's player of the season?
Oh, I'd have to just say, maybe, you know what, Rice.
I think it's O'Reilly. No. I think.
Sorry. In the whole concept of it,
I think he gets player of the season if City win the league.
O'Reilly is how Pep is utilised him. Sorry, mate. I thought you meant in terms of the Arsenal squad. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, as much as you hate him,
I probably killed the mood in this.
No. Listen, mate. Listen, you have to talk about players. You have to talk. The fact is, we all know what Haaland does when he, as you say, you look at that as whether you're looking at it on a different, like me and Tony had a little bit. Is that not a pull on him? He finds the space. He puts the ball in the back of the net, right? So they've got their striker, right? They've got their striker there to put the ball in the back of the net. You've got you got a left back who scored 2 goals against us. He's meant to be a left back, and he's playing almost centre forward, tapping goals in and getting headers in. Yeah, I mean, he's gone about his business, mate. He's gone about his business. So could be one, mate. Definitely, it's.
And the point I think I'm making there is that we've got a player profile. The comment just mentioned it, like in Lewis Skelly, that we've not utilised, and he was so good last season.
Yeah.
And if they go on to win the league, you could argue he's been one of their best players, O'Reilly.
Yeah,
without a doubt, mate. You can't argue there.
But you don't just fall off a cliff like that. You know, there's got to be something Arteta's not doing. Do you know what I mean? He's brought in Calafiori and then Capier because that's his safety net. They're two defensively good left backs. And Skelly isn't a defender, is he? You know, I'll read out his comment, mate, and I'll get your face back on the screen because blocking your face at the moment. The following players need to be binned: Zubamendi, Gyökeres, Havertz, Norgard, Madueke, Jesus, Trossard, Calafiori. Unfit, always got his entire squad by technicians like Walton, Alvarez, Bacola. So it's
that last bit there. Finish reading this. Sorry, time.
Yeah, I'll finish and then I'll hand over to you, Wayne. Yeah, promote Skelly to midfield, recall Ethan. Dalman gets significant minutes. Odegaard is converted to an 8.
I think Odegaard in the 8 is one where he's not strong enough. I mean, that's my only worry. But what I will say is technicians is the one I wanted to just say I agree with. I think we lack. Look at as much as whatever you think of Xhaka in that midfield would be much, much better in terms he picks the passes out. Yeah. You know, I'm talking about a fully fit Xhaka, but he's still done a great job for Sunderland, by the way. But he's 33, 34. But this is what it is, that technical, that player gets on the ball and plays it. Declan Rice is your engine. He's your up and down. But has he got that technical ability to pick in the passes out? We thought we had that with Zubamendi, especially with Odegaard being out, you know. Odegaard, me and Tony have said it, and I've said it as well. And I only think the Odegaard one would work when you've got a less physical team. If you know, because look what I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's a video, you might have seen it a bit in the flesh, Ben. There's a point where the ball's gone over to the far side of the pitch, yeah. And Odegaard, me and Tony, I flagged it up on the live stream. All Odegaard had to do is accelerate and put the pressure on the player, and he ran over and pulled out. He was half-heartedly in the attack because the ball's flipped out. He had so much time to run after that ball, and then he's half-heartedly run for it, and then realised he's got a player he's got to tackle and steps out of it. Havertz has gone, and Declan Rice is in the middle. Like, they're thinking, what, you know, he's pulling out. You've got players that are physically pulling out of challenges. Now, the World Cup's around the corner, and I know you might change after the World Cup, but it's just not the mentality that we need in that squad. He is a technical player, but Odegaard has struggled, and I don't think left 8 for me, unless he improves post World Cup. But he's just pulling out of challenges. He just pulls out all the time, and you're like, a number 8 has to be that guy, like a Granit Xhaka. Would you see a Granit Xhaka pull out of a challenge? We used to moan he was getting reds, weren't we? About six red cards a season or whatever. But Granit Xhaka had the technical ability, and he could also tackle. Obviously not on the creative side of Odegaard, top of his game, Odegaard. But yeah, I know what you're saying, Sheree. I have advocated it, but some of the displays, as I said, whether it's the World Cup, he's been just ducking out of challenges, Odegaard, and you're trying to win a title here,
boys. One of those players you could sell though, because I think
I have to say,
there would be a
market for him, dude. 100%. Spain or Germany, dude. Spain or Germany.
I think there'd be a few clubs that would take him.
Well, I think we have to. And I said to Tony, I don't know if you caught it, matey. I can't remember if we were discussing it when you last joined. I apologise if we have repeated. But I think it was when he was out, Big Gabs or Saka is given the armband. Rice was given the armband with Gabs on the pitch. With Gabs on the pitch. I think he's going to come in, because I think Odegaard's off in the summer, in my opinion. You know, and for me, you know, I like the player, but I've said to Tony and everyone else watching, I just think, listen, I get Norway, I get this situation, but you're playing for Arsenal Football Club. You're paid handsomely, and you're pulling out of challenges. You're going, no, my body can't take it. You're pulling out of matches more than likely and saying, oh, you know, that's all for the World Cup, Ben. You know
one thing I noticed on Sunday.
Yeah, go on, mate.
Odegaard does a lot of running off the
ball. Does run a lot, yeah.
And I don't know if the running is actually that effective, but he runs from side to side,
yes,
like a lot. And I'm thinking to myself, can you not just be a little bit more intelligent with like your energy?
Sorry, I'm sorry, Ben.
He gets on the ball and he looks knackered.
Yes.
He's obviously just come back from injury. Yeah. But then, do you remember the Odegaard from 2 seasons ago? There was one game, I don't know if you guys remember it, one game at the Emirates where we might have been losing or drawing.
Yeah.
And he got the game by the scruff of the neck. And he was like give me the ball, give me the ball.
Yeah.
And he was unbelievable. And I was like,
pulled
wow,
us
this
out of it.
guy, Where's that player gone? Is it just his
100
body?
exactly.
Is it his body is not there anymore? Is it that he's just been coached to be this kind of player now?
Exactly, mate. That is the question, Ben. That is the question. Where's that player gone?
I think we need to move on. I think it's almost like should we give him one more season, see if we can unlock the Odegaard of 2-3 years ago, or do you just go, look, boom, 50 million and let's upgrade?
Yeah, listen, you have to. Someone said online, and again, you get a lot of people and a lot of different opinions, and this is what it's about. As long as you're not sort of like silly sort of AFTV kind of opinions, because sometimes they're there for clickbaiting. But someone said if you kind of want to get rid of Odegaard, you're not agreeing with Arteta because he's which I've said is Arteta's voice on the pitch. But Ben, listen, you've got a manager who is tactically, let's be fair, is a clever tactician, right?
Who, Arteta?
Arteta, in terms of what he can, how he sets his team up defensively, attacking wise, his balance of attack and defence is where I think it comes. You have to question him, but are you going to be wanting? You don't want to be stuck. Odegaard hasn't been good, is what I'm trying to get at, and I think it doesn't matter for me. Look at Fernandes in this team. If he's played well in that 10, right, Bruno Fernandes would have been taking us to this title. Yeah, me and Tony said it. Odegaard might be his voice on the pitch, but Odegaard isn't, in my opinion, he isn't elite. There's not a lot of elite number 10s, but he isn't one of them. So the question has to be, look, if the manager's going to stay and you sell Odegaard, who's going to be his voice on the pitch? Has to be a different kind of voice on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? Because it's clearly the thing that is defined the era at the moment in us being also like bridesmaid, never the bride, as rival fans will say. Because you got to up that level, and you're looking at Odegaard.
Bruno Fernandes doing the same thing. He'd get Bruno Fernandes tracking.
Oh yeah, I know. You're in dreamland, aren't you? You're in dreamland, yeah.
Like he's that sort of manager. And one thing I was going to say about Arteta as well, I don't know if you guys noticed it on Sunday, but he did something very smart in the first half, and he does a lot of very smart tactical things pre-game, almost to like outsmart the opposition coach. Do you guys remember last season against PSG, first half? Absolutely battered them, and we probably should have scored a couple of goals.
We should have been 3-0 up, mate. 3-1. I think they scored in the first half, but
you give him credit for that. He does these little tactical things where the other manager goes, "Oh, I didn't expect that." Yep. He put Declan Rice on Rodri. Declan Rice was almost playing as a number 10 on Sunday in the first half, and City didn't do much in the first half apart from the goal they scored. After the second half, I know we created more chances second half. City played because Pep's obviously gone. Look, I don't know the tactical thing Pep did, but Pep's obviously gone. Right, we're changing that, boom. And Arteta doesn't change from there.
No.
And that's a big problem, that his in-game management. When have you ever seen Arteta change the formation of a team?
Yeah,
he doesn't. He just changes
even a simple thing. I mean, Ben, what Tony's alluding to is what you do is very much grassroots. But I still think it's in the game of in a Premier League. It still can count where you swap in the wingers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that.
You look at it as well, mate. Right, and Tony as well. We've seen it anyway. But you look at certain things and you go, that when Cucurella, we all hated him. We all hate him, sort of thing. He's one of those bloody annoying players. He plays well against Saka. What have we said on the stream, Tone? Swap it.
Yeah.
Does he swap it? No. Keep going.
Yeah, it's a good point. That
I know it's a box, but listen, it comes from grassroots level, Ben. You do stuff. I'm with you, mate. I know what you're saying. It's just swap things over. And you said that's a tactical tweak in game. And then what have you done in the second half? And then you've allowed. Don't get me wrong. We had some good moments, but they've done us on transition. We poorly defended it. Goal. You don't give Haaland that much in space in the box, mate. You don't. And you're right. I agree. I have to agree with there. Is that some tactical tweaks? Sometimes the subs can work, but some tactical tweaks, and even a simple thing like Tony's saying, he won't even do that.
Yeah. Comments are lining up, guys.
Go on, my friend, go for it, Bones.
CJ, good evening, mate. Good evening. CJ's he's frustrated still.
Hello, CJ, my friend. Sorry, first and foremost. Thanks for joining, bud.
Just joined and want to say this. If we don't win this title or the Champions League, it's fully done for us. We will just become a laughing stock again. Can't argue with that. Yeah.
CJ, I'm getting it at work, mate. I feel your pain. Trust me. I want it so bad. I think many a Gooner want it. You know, we're getting all these memes. I've got an apple crumble meme. You got that silly twat drinking Arsenal tears in the Arsenal bottle.
He again got another gift of him in the Man City ground.
They were selling them outside the stadium, Arsenal waters for £1.
Yeah, they were selling Arsenal.
It was a hot day. I was thirsty. I nearly bought a bottle.
Oh, bad.
But they're taking. Everyone's taking the piss out of us, boys, and this is where we need this. By hook or by crook, we need it. You know.
We need new wingers and a proper striker. Give me Alvarez straight away. 100 million euros though.
A lot of money.
Yeah. I don't trust Arteta with another rebuild. And you know one thing that pissed me off: you don't get tired if you have the ball. Look at the distances between our players. It's true. If you've got the ball,
that's a very good point.
Doing less running. Should we put Arteta is not a tactician. He's the easiest man to set up against. Every attacker has question marks over them, even guys like Eza. I'm tired of him at times, but can we get some exciting football? We're going to have to, mate. If we're going to have to win all 5
games.
Well, mate,
as I say,
even
Alf, you are, matey. Yeah, listen, sure, you have to. You have to something has to give.
Alfie's put, I haven't joined to take the mick because I can't speak myself, but I feel for you it must be frustrating. Arteta out.
Yeah, listen, boys. I mean, as you know, Ben, this is my nephew. He's struggling at the moment, being a Spurs fan. But I get him.
He joined the Spurs one, didn't he?
Yeah, that's it, matey. But Alf, listen. It is. I'm not. But what we're questioning tonight, and we're asking the question, which Ben's also alluded to, which I like not to take credit for, is that he's saying, can we trust Arteta with a rebuild? And I think that's what we're trying to think of, matey. For me, I'm not. But questions will have to be asked if there's no silverware, because, whether it's been great what he's brought in the summer, he's just like he's stopped out. I mean, Norgard, guys. For me, Norgard still annoys me.
Did you see what he was saying about Norgard when we signed him?
Yeah, go on, mate. Remind me. Sorry, go on.
Brentford captain. It was like he was bigging him up. And then he's not played him at all.
100%.
For me, just in answer to that question, I know you guys still have it, right? Like you get this excitement before Arsenal play. Then I'm so deflated when I watch us.
Yeah.
It's just so deflating.
I get that, mate.
What time are we playing on Saturday? 5:30, right? On Saturday.
5:30.
I'll be buzzing all day looking for Arsenal playing at 5:30. I'll sit down 10 minutes in. I'll just be like, oh, what am I watching?
Ben, listen to me, mate. You're not the only one. And Tony watched it. I missed some of it because I worked till I think like 20 to 2 on a Saturday, and I missed it. But when you do not have a meaningful shot on target against Bournemouth, I don't care, in all due respect to them, but you're at home, right? You should be peppering the opposition's goal. Whether it's going over the crossbar, wide of the goal, you've had 8 shots and you've hit 1 on target. You're at home. There is no excuse for any football club, in my opinion, to not be getting shots on target in their own.
Someone said that the other day about. Do you remember under Wenger? I remember it was always West Ham and it was always Rob Green.
Oh,
we'd have games.
With a game of his life.
Stop it, Ben. Yeah. You're opening old wounds, mate.
But you'd accept it, right? You'd come off the
West Ham would beat Rob us Green 1-0 was phenomenal.
And you'd go, oh, that keeper had the game of his life. Like it was.
Yeah. It was hard to take. It's a defeat, but we peppered the goal exactly. Ben.
And then you go into the next game with confidence.
Exactly.
The next keeper's not going to make that many saves.
No,
and they wouldn't. Whereas we don't even test the keeper.
This is it.
It's mad.
You know, we moaned at Emery. We moaned at Emery when we conceded 26 shots at home.
Against
I think
Watford.
It was to Watford. Yeah, which I think you said as well on a previous stream. Which was at that game. We're saying that. So now we're stopping them, Ben. But we're not having the shots. You're at the Emirates. You should have more than 10 shots in a game, in my opinion, on or off target, minimum. We didn't have. We had one. We'd had one. Gyökeres scored from the penalty spot. We didn't have a meaningful shot on target at home. That is piss
Mad,
poor.
isn't it?
Yeah,
It's ridiculously poor. I can't defend that, guys. That's the one thing I will say. I cannot defend that. That's not right. That's not acceptable. As our Arsenal Football Club, no matter what level we played at, Emery's level, Wenger at the end of his tenure level, beginning of even Arteta in the beginning of the reign, his teams had shots on target. That's not acceptable. That game. That's where the problem has come from, boys. That Bournemouth game, big style.
Let's catch these comments up, guys. Guys, get the likes up. Thank you for joining. There's a few of you in watching us at the moment, so appreciate you joining. Cherise put, I just wonder at times, do our players at time have a backbone, like as men? Where is your pride? Like they just look like chicken in the headlights at the biggest stage. They never look like they can hang. I get that point. Cedo's put, I'm so confused. We do or we don't back Arteta. He's given me the best seasons for excitement and title runs for the last 5 years or whatever, but still nothing. Who else can do it for us though? Well,
this is the question we've posed, CJ. It's a tough one, but as me and I think all of us tonight will have to agree that if you're going to want someone to walk in, you'd say Enrique. I think we've all sort of like agreed on that. But we can't think. And as I say, Klopp is semi-retired anyway. Anytime, as there was a mention from yourself. But listen, it's frustrating, CJ. As Arsenal fans, I've said previously, if you're going to bore your way to a title, do it. I didn't say bore your way to a title that meant that you're going to slip and let City back in with 5 games to go. I didn't say that. So
I don't think it's been 5 years though. I would say we've had 2. I say
2 to 3 years.
The best 2 for me were the season where we just challenged out of nowhere. I think that was the season
23-24
when we signed 22-23 when we signed Jesus.
The World Cup year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I remember.
World Cup. Yeah, it was the COVID World Cup, wasn't it? Because it was delayed. Was it delayed?
It was the Qatar World Cup.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, World Cup 2022, and it was in December.
And then we resumed again in December.
Yeah, that's the one. Sorry, it wasn't COVID, guys.
Yeah, we went 6 points clear, beating Wolves at the away game. Do you remember that? And we finished before I went to the World Cup. We was top of the table.
That was amazing. Those times were amazing.
Again, didn't we?
Guys, do you remember? I want to really kill you. We've obviously been hurt by Bournemouth this year. Do you remember that game in Bournemouth where Reece Nelson banged that ball in right in the last minute and made it 3-2? We thought we was winning the title, guys. The Emirates was rocking. I was rocking.
I've never been cuddled by so many strangers.
Yeah, and Tone, I know I'm going to miss. As I said to you, I'm going to miss the game on Saturday. It was my nephew's birthday. So that's where I was around his house again at that time in year, and I was kind of following it on the phone, and you're thinking I'm doing my nutting at 2-1, and we turn that game around, and you just believe. And the season following, Ben, as well, where we lost it by 2 points. As I said to you, I'm not making excuses. Yeah, that's it. And I think it was Aston Villa, wasn't it, at home that undone us.
Yeah, and we got 90 points or something, right?
Yeah,
that season.
And they beat us like 92 or 90. I think we got 89 and City got 91.
You can sometimes accept that.
You can accept that. We come up against a phenomenal City team, right? You can accept it. But as I say, last year not. But yeah, listen, this year, you know what someone said at work, and I think you boys can and everyone watching, and again, I say boys because I'm saying to who I'm talking to. If I was talking to girls, I'd say guys or whatever, because it's the way I speak. I do apologise to people watching, right? But this season, we find ourselves currently still challenging at the top, and we're in the Champions League semi-final. But one of the guys who's a season ticket holder, by the way, and he shares the ticket, said to me, I've just not enjoyed it. So could it be the polar opposite? I'm trying to give you some copium here now, guys. Could it be that we enjoyed them 2 seasons? We didn't win F all. Could it be we're not going to enjoy this season, but we get something good out of it? There's your copium. I'm going. And that's my word of wisdom. I'm off. No more chatting, guys. I've gave you that.
Cool. I'll catch the comments up. We'll give it 2 or 3 minutes, guys. Get smash the likes up. Like when Cherise put when the pressure's on at Wembley at Parc des Princes, Etihad, it's always this promo video, but it's crickets on the pitch, and they want to play.
Yeah, I get that, mate.
Very good point.
Very good point, Cherise.
As I said, we said at the beginning of the pod, give us something to shout about. There's nothing to shout about. We're playing, like the Emirates get so wound up because we're not progressing the ball quick enough. Right, and we're always starting the game slow, and everyone's like, "Oh, come on, pick it up a bit." And then the worst thing they do, Odegaard does this a lot, and I'm like, if I'm in the front one day, I'm gonna go, "Fuck off, mate." Right, when he goes,
yeah. They're trying to raise the crowd up.
Give us like the shout about.
Give up. This is my argument, boys. You are paid. You are the guys that are paid.
You're
you know what?
Shitloads of money. Fucking.
I'm sorry that we've got Alfie's point here, boys. But can I just quickly put that into perspective for you guys, right? That if you went to see, it's a different kind of spectrum, but if you went to see your favourite musician or musicians or band, right, and they weren't quite performing up to scratch, right, as fans on the stadium, they cannot be expecting you to lift them up. It's up to them. Yeah, if they're having a bad performance or whatever, you want that band to lift you up. That band should not be relying on you as the crowd to be lifting them up. They're there to entertain, to do the job of entertaining, whatever it might be. But I know it's a different kind of thing. But I'm just saying, as fans, you should not be relied upon to lift anything. It should be those that are performing. And when them guys ain't performing, it's either on the manager, it's on the players. They're the one. That's the one. It should not be on the 60,000 fans in that stadium who are nervous. Yes, it is nervous energy, but players, take that nervous energy away. Do you boys remember quickly before we get to Alfie Turner? Sorry, Alfie's thing. Thierry Henry. What did he used to do on the pitch? We haven't got a Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry, when you were panicking, he'd either turn up or you were defending the lead. Thierry Henry would take it to the corner, say, "Get the ball off me."
Yeah.
But you know what he did do, Wayne? He took responsibility.
Thank you, mate. Take responsibility.
And going back to that point a few years ago, on that game, I can't remember what it was. I was at the stadium. I remember it really well. And Odegaard was saying, "Give me the ball. Give me the ball."
Yeah.
And he was taking responsibility.
We need more of that.
Who in this team? Like, I want to see Eze go, "Give me the ball," because Eze is a wonderful player. Give me the ball. Give me the ball.
Demand it, Ben. Yep. Who's taking responsibility? 100%. 100%, mate.
Alfie's question here, lads. Completely agree with Ben. Even when Spurs are, I can't talk about it. I'll completely agree with Ben there. Even when Spurs are on, I'm talking about it all day to the build up, even though you expect and see the same type of football start to come on the same with Arsenal. Yeah. No,
that's it, Alf. It's 100%. You do.
You sit there looking forward to a game of football.
You do, and the game comes on and it just, you're disappointed straight off.
Like, my Sunday was ruined. I went back indoors and just sat there. Right.
No, like it was for what? Yeah. Even at work time, I was a wounded animal at work, and I held a crap at work. I ignored we got a message for all the boys, and that they're putting all their memes and all their messages and stuff, and I ignored it because I'm not. If
it was acceptable for a 35-year-old man to cry losing the game of football, I probably would have cried on Sunday.
Listen, I was what was I? I was 8 years old, and I don't know if you boys might have been too young, but when we got, you will remember as Arsenal fans, Naeem, 90-yarder, lobbed David Seaman from the halfway line in the Cup Winners' Cup final, and I cried my eyes out, and my dad said, "Get off, it's 11 men kicking a pig's bladder, a bit of leather around. Sort yourself out." So
he was ex-Spurs, wasn't he?
And he was matey, and he done that to David Seaman. I think more so, he done it to David Seaman. David Seaman was a personal hero of mine. There's a lot of heroes in but I loved him as a goalkeeper. And I was told never cry at 8 years old. So I've never cried at football from the age of 8. That was the last time I cried at football.
CJ's put what us fans have for Arteta, I think Spurs fans had for Poch. It's the best football they've seen for ages, although nothing has been won.
See, you know what? That is a fantastic point. That is the worry. Is he, in all due respect, another Pochettino?
Burnley on the break here. No.
Cheers, Ben. Right, get him off, Toad. He got me. Come on, mate.
Bloody hell. August to November 2022. Arsenal in the away end at Wolves take us back that Bournemouth game at 2-0. The whole Emirates thought we could do it. Compare it to Bournemouth at home this season. I was in that ground that time, and I was like, we can get back in this. And we scored. Ben White got us back in it, and I think Saka scored. Then Nelson obviously scored that screamer from the corner, and it was nuts. But I must admit, it's a very good point. In any game this season, I've not actually. Like when we was 2-1 down to City, I didn't sit there going, "We're going to get back into this." Like I didn't see the hope. Like I wasn't seeing on the pitch. Like you go, "Oh, come on, let's get back into this." But what we were seeing on the pitch wasn't progressing.
There's no hope. You know, these players have to give you hope, guys, and they wasn't, you know.
Well, yeah. Sharice put, "Don't accept 2024 because Arteta was shoving Havertz in midfield the first half of that season." You remember that? So
true.
He cost himself that season and this season. Yeah. Sharice put, "They are lucky I never sat in front row because my drink would have ended up in Odegaard's face and would tell them to move the ball faster. Bring your breakfast, lunch, dinner. Can you bring attacking players?
Yeah, but this is it. It's 100% true. I'm so, you know, if you relying on the fans to bring you up that level, but I'm sorry, but what are 60,000 other than giving a good sort of like, you know, singing? Because I've been in there when we were singing at Everton, there was non-stop singing, which is quite a good atmosphere, right? And then obviously you got the Max Dalman goal, the 2 late goals, the Gyökeres and then the Dalman goal. That was big bits of copium. We went 9 points clear, right, and the stadium was buzzing. Yeah, we've now gone back again, but not one as a fan, you're not going to be able to run on that pitch and score a goal, are you? You can't, as 59,000 fans, 59, 60,000, spit your words out. Not one of you can't go on the pitch, can you? You can't affect the game other than sing your heart out, right? The players on the pitch have to. I'm sorry, it just look at COVID. You know, COVID. Teams still won football matches in COVID without a crowd. You know,
we won an FA Cup.
We won an FA Cup without a crowd. So don't give it to me, especially Arsenal, Arteta, whatever. That you need the crowd when it should be the football on the pitch that raises it. I've said it several times. That's the point.
I do think, like, when we were playing really good football a few seasons ago, the crowd and the team were kind of very connected.
Yeah,
do you remember when we lost to Man City on New Year's Day, but we played really well?
Yeah,
I remember that I was in the stadium and the crowd and the players were like completely in sync, because I think the fans saw that the players were doing the things they wanted to do. Like 100%. I make a point about this. You know, like when Ben White takes ages on throw-ins.
Yeah,
it's obviously a tactical thing, right? They're trying to
slows it down. Timber does the same. Calafiori, yeah.
But it just pisses people off in the crowd, and you're going, "Come on, just throw the ball back in."
Ben, I said it. Yeah, you're right. I said it. I said, throw the ball for fuck's sake.
To go wait for the player and their team to be slightly out of position and then throw it. And we never do anything with it anyway. When we scored from a throw-in, it's 100%. Like little things like that, which is like for example, look at Klopp's teams, right? Klopp was like, right, get the ball back in play.
Yeah,
suffocate.
Quick, suffocate football. I can't remember what they called it, Ben, and I'm not going to bore everyone with it. But there's a certain German name. That's it, Gegenpress. Thank you, mate. It was the Gegenpress. Thank you, dude. Yeah.
But he also had his team super fit. I don't know if you guys saw.
Of course he did. Yeah.
Oxlade-Chamberlain talk about like how fit he was when he went to Liverpool.
Yeah. Yeah, as I say, he didn't do it under Wenger. He wouldn't have done it in that kind of thing in the fitness. But yeah, as I say, that's it. That's what his team's doing. Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. Interesting for over an hour and 20 minutes, guys. I think we'll call it there. It's been a good conversation.
Thanks,
Ben,
guys.
lovely having you as always, mate.
Yeah, no, thanks for joining, Ben. We appreciate it. And it's always good to get a different view, my friend. But yeah, listen, you know, keep going, Ben. I'll give you some copium. And to those watching as well, all right. Negative season could be ending a positive. Let's hope.
Cool.
Shit football brings a trophy. I'm still on copium, guys. That's my copium, all right. And I'm having it to the end of the season.
All right, fair enough.
All right, leave me be.
Friday for the preview of the Newcastle game. There will be a watch along on Saturday also. Until then, smash the likes up, hit that subscribe button, and thank you as always for your comments. Enjoy.
Cheers, guys.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Cheers,
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.